Small 4-game NBA slate. Let's talk some underdog pick'em. Let's go. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake, back with an Underdog Fantasy Pick'em video where I got 2 plays for you. We'll talk about a few other ones, but a small 4-game slate. Not going to go too crazy on these small slates like this, but I did find 2 things with value. I'll also show you our Underdog Plus EV tool that will kind of point you in the right direction for the best mathematical plays on the board. So we'll jump on that as well. And again, if you like these videos, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. We'll keep doing these videos for you, and hopefully it helps you in your research process. Let's go. All right, like you can see, I have the underdogfantasy.com desktop up here. They got a sweet mobile app you can download in the Google and Apple store. And like I said, we have a Underdog Plus EV tool in our Patreon streets. If you want access to that, here's what it looks like. Again, it's going to put the best Plus EV plays at the top. It's basically taking one of the sharpest books out there and just comparing it to the plays that we have, and we got it for NBA, NFL, and college football right now. And we're constantly looking to add more sports. Hopefully we can add hockey and college basketball to it shortly as well. But that's what we got. Kind of look at, if you want to look at the plays that we got going on as well, it's one of those things that each and every day, if you want to see the plays in the Patreon streets, I have been, this is what it basically looks like. Here's for Price Picks and Underdog here. We had a pretty good night last night. Again, missing on Cunningham's rebounds, and Garland just looked like crap that first half, but did well on everything else. College basketball, again, just been printing with that Plus EV tool. I think it missed one last night, the first time it's missed one that we've put out there in the first 3 days. So it's like 13-1. I just took the top 2 that I liked, and they both hit. And then again, I like Devin Vassell here down. He hit as well. So again, that's what you get if you take the picks, and then that is the tool. So let's just dive into it real quick. We'll talk about the first 2 I like. Let's look at Luka real quick. I think there's a number of ways you can go, right? Now, he was on that super hot streak points-wise, where he was putting up monster 30-point games. I think, I can't remember who he was chasing. One of the legends he was chasing for 30-point games to start a season. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments below. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, didn't do it against Orlando. Only put up 24 yesterday in the early game. At 33.5, he could do basically whatever he wants here. Back-to-back like this, playing Washington. I think my favorite play out of him, honestly, is going to be lower on 7.5 assists. He's only gone over this in one of the last 5 games, 5, 11, 6, 6, 6, and Washington is ranked 9th in assists allowed. So it's a spot where I think that you can take the under here. The juice is around -125 on lower as well. One thing I do like about Underdog, I got to mention, is the insurance they have now. So before, you had to get every pick right if you want to turn on the insurance. You can miss a few if you want to put a 5-banger out there and miss one. You can still get 6x your money. So really like this for the 4 and 5 mans. I still prefer to run no insurance for the 2 and 3 mans, and then turn that booger on when I'm doing 5 and 4. I just prefer it that way. My bankroll does as well. Rebounds wise for Luka, it's at 8. He hasn't went over 8 in the last 5 games either. Now Washington is ranked 12th in rebounds allowed, 8 in offensive rebounds allowed. So juices on the under at the 8.5 mark, which I completely get with what he's been doing. We could also say this is a revenge game for Porzingis as well, if you want to say that. So yeah, I would lean lower here as well. Points wise, I'm not going to ever touch Luka's points because he can put up a 40 burger anytime he wants to. So I prefer the lower on assist for him. Spencer Dinwiddie, nothing that really stood out to me, honestly, just looking at his points wise. He has gone over this in 3 of his last 4 games. 2021, really bad, 2 against Brooklyn, and then 29 last night against Orlando. Washington's ranked 12th in points allowed, 27th in 3-point percentage allowed. Juice is on the over around -120, -125 here. Kind of look at his points, rebounds, and assists. Same kind of deal. He's gone over this in 3 of the last 4 games, 29, 29, 13, and 38. Looking at assist numbers, I guess I would look at higher in assists here. Now, again, Washington is ranked 9th in assists allowed, but I didn't realize how consistent he has been. Let's put that up there higher. Just looking at the numbers, going through it, he's had 5 or more assists in 7 of the last 8 games. So that's something I think that we can look at with how consistent he's been. Now, at a back-to-back worries me a little bit here, but I didn't realize how consistent he's been with the assist, and I guess with Wood being out for a bit as well, maybe that helps a little bit with the ball in his hands, because when Wood comes off the bench, he does suck that ball up a ton. So it kind of makes sense. But, playing heavy minutes, like I said, 5 or more assists, going back to 7 of the last 8 games. So kind of like that. Don't really want anything else there. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's a guy that's really hard to trust when it comes to this points-wise. He has gone over the 9.5 points in 4 of his last 6 games, 13, 13, 4, 11, 18, and 8. Rebounds wise, I would lean on the under here. He has not gone over this in his last 4 games. But I would stay away from Dorian Finney-Smith here. Like I said, the unicorn Porzingis here, maybe revenge a little bit game out of him. Rebounds wise, he is juiced at the 7.5 number, at -140, -145 in some of those books. He's gone over this in 5 of his last 6 games, 13, 9, 9, 10, 4, and 8 are that. But Dallas is ranked 3rd in rebounds allowed, so they don't give up a ton of rebounds. I'm just going to kind of stay away from this. Again, I don't really love it on both sides. If you kind of look at his points, kind of been all over the place. Haven't had like a real spike game. I know Bradley Beal is out, but Kuzma's been doing whatever he wants to do, and he takes up a lot of usage, so it's really hard to trust here. Looking at points wise, though, we got him at 21.5. He's only gone over this in 2 of the 5 games, 32, 30, 14, 10, and 19. Don't really love a whole lot of Porzingis here. Kyle Kuzma, numbers are a little bit lower if you want to look at his points wise, 18, 19, 12, and 20. We got him at 17.5. But Dallas, again, they rank 3rd in points allowed, 1st in 3-pointers allowed, and 5th in 3-point percentage allowed. So good defensive team at 17.5. The line is at 16.5 at most books out there, with juiced up over at -125, -130. And hey, I want to mention, if you do not have an account, and if you want access to this, use promo code ARMY, and you get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And on top of it, if you want access to all my projections over at DFS Army and everything we have to offer over there, and you are a new Underdog sign up, hit me up in the comments below, and I will give you some instructions on getting a free month of DFS Army VIP membership to get everything, especially with all the sports we got going on now. You can get that by signing up using that promo code ARMY and following some instructions I can give you. But with that, let's go down. Kyle Kuzma, again, not super excited. I don't love this slate, like I said. Monte Morris, not going to touch him. Joel Embiid coming back here. We got no Harden for a while. I was kind of looking at him a little bit and see what we wanted to do. We really only have the 2 games playing here. We got Philly and Atlanta. I guess we do got a play down here that I do like, but I don't really love a lot of these plays. There's only one play I do love. Nothing really stood out for me with Embiid, so didn't really love it. He can always put up over 28.5 points anytime he wants to, especially against Atlanta. I just don't know if I want to touch any of his. The one thing I was looking at was lower than 1.5 3-pointers made. It's juiced to like -190, but they don't have it up here, which I can completely understand. I did like Tyrese Maxey, looking at 5.5 assists, but 6 is a little high for me. It's, the assist wise for Maxey at 5.5 is juiced to like -180. At 6, he's had 7 and 6 the last 2 games. Atlanta is actually ranked 6th or 8th in assists allowed. So that's where I'm kind of like staying away from him. So that was my favorite Maxey play here with lower or higher than 5.5 assists, but at 6, I don't think that number is where I want to be at. I don't really want to touch him with points with Embiid out there. It's just kind of a stay away for spot with these Philly guys. With Embiid out there, he can suck up all the usage anytime he wants. Now, Terry Rozier is a play that I do like here. Charlotte, Miami. Again, they are on a back-to-back as well, but minus 130, minus 135 on this play. I do like higher than 4.5 assists. Don't love it, but it is. He has 5 or more assists in 4 of his last 5 games. Again, it's juiced up a little bit. Miami is ranked 15th in assists allowed and 22nd in point guard defense. So, now they're out with a bunch of guys as well. No LaMelo Ball. We know that. He's been out for a while. Gordon Hayward is still out. So he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. It's going to be him. It's going to be, Dennis Smith Jr. are going to be the ball handlers here. But I don't mind that one. Miami's a tough team to play against, so it's really hard to take a lot of these guys looking at what they've done. If you look at Kelly Oubre Jr. at points and rebounds at 22.5, that's a spot where, it's tough. He's went over that in once over his last 4 games. Miami's 9th in points allowed, 10th in rebounds allowed. So at 22.5, I would lean lower here. He's only gone over this in 2 of his last 6, 1 of his last 4, and he barely went over against Portland last night at 24. So we might lean lower than this. It's all about him getting hot anyways. And with Miami's defense, they didn't play last night. So it's a spot that we can definitely look at taking Kelly Oubre Jr. lower than 22.5 points and rebounds. And that's about it. I didn't like any Washington. Plumlee is conflicting with me. I've seen some lines out there where it says take lower than 8.5 rebounds. But I don't love it because if you look at it now, Miami is ranked 10th in rebounds allowed. So they're a good rebounding team, but he's had 9 or more rebounds in 6 of his last 7 games. So it's one of those things where, if you look at it and see where it's pushing things at, I don't think I love it, but at the same time, looking at the stats a little bit, it's just, I'm going to stay away from it. When they're conflicting information, it's just a no play for me. So that's what we're looking at. Again, if you do not have an account, use that promo code ARMY and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And if you want access to the plays, picks tonight, and all of the tools, plus EV tools for Underdog, plus EV tools for Prize Picks, all that stuff, you can get access to it in the Patreon streets below, and check out our free Discord where we have a lot of stuff going on. So with that, appreciate each and every one of you guys. I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.